Welcome back to Winging It Waterfowl. This is your host, Troy Miller and Blake Horton. This is episode 22 intro. This week we had Chris and Alexandra, owners and operators of Relentless Game Calls. We had a great conversation with them. A lot of fun getting them on to talk. So, what did you think, Blake?
Oh, it went great, man. I think we're on our last episode of the Wisconsin tour. It
For
seems
the
like
moment.
most of our people have been Wisconsin or I guess Minnesota too. Just right up
It,
it was all right there.
yeah, this is the Midwest tour.
It
Next week
was.
is Nebraska. And
Yeah.
then I think we finally get back down to the south on the one after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, it was awesome. Those two are great people. We've talked before the podcast came on, but I mean, they're great people. Their passion for waterfowl is just not waterfowl. The hunting industry's like-minded like us. I mean, that's what we try to shoot for when we find guests, is just have someone that's real passionate about what they do, not even just waterfowl, just everything in general. I mean, she was very open and told us everything about
oh yeah,
with the
lots of
first hunt
information.
stuff. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
I
she's
mean,
super involved in getting not just women, but all first hunters, first time hunters, people with no experience or no means of like getting out into hunting, not just women, just everyone that's wants to get introduced to the sport and maybe doesn't have the family or the means or the know-how. She is all about getting people involved and getting them involved the right way. So
yeah,
it was
yeah,
awesome
it's
getting to
kind of
hear that.
interesting. I want to look into it. I might try to join down here if there's a chapter or something, try to
Yeah,
help
be
out and
something to
figure
look
that
into.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we didn't. I know we spoke about how they have some in other places, but I didn't even think to ask about like where the different chapters are all over.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was a great episode. It was nice getting to talk to them. Chris has got a lot going on, a lot in the works, coming out with new game calls. They've got a couple different platforms out at the moment, mostly customization from what he was saying. And then he's got some more stuff in the works coming out soon. So be very exciting to kind of keep up with them and look into that as they go forward.
Yeah.
Um,
I
we
think
are,
he's about to come up with he's fresh with the game calls, like the duck calls and the turkey calls. I think another year or two he's going to be up there and selling a bunch and actually like the rest of them are. I mean,
oh yeah, yeah,
it's hard to get started.
they're 6 months in and they're already doing
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Everyone I've talked to that has their calls is very happy with them.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
but
ready. I'm interested to see when he's going to get that cut down. I want to hear what it says.
what it sounds like,
Yeah. I want to hear what it
yeah.
says to those ducks up there in the air. Is he gonna whisper sweet nothings to them and have them come down, or?
Well, we'll have to see. We're coming down to the end of season. Um, man, it's been a whirlwind of a
Fast,
season. Yeah,
man.
I have not got to hunt near as much as I wanted to, and the hunts that I have had have not. It has not been a kind season.
No,
It's been
no.
fun, enjoyable. I mean, always enjoyable, but man, it is not the season I thought it was going to turn out to be. That is for sure. I've had some tough luck and some
Yeah.
extreme weather changes. I've gone from freezing up on the decoys to hunting in 80 degrees in December out
Oh
here
yeah. I mean,
in the panhandle of Texas. I mean, I know
that's
we've got extreme weather, but
it's
man, it's
crazy.
just been crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out in the morning till when the wood duck close. Which I mean, that one's always full. I'm not too worried about it. Just walk in and shoot your limit, walk out, and get to
Yeah,
work. You got some
I'm
fakes to fix, so
yeah, I'm on call this weekend, so I will not get out this weekend, unfortunately, but I will be out next weekend, and I'm very excited because I've got all that new ammo from Big River Ammunition, the official ammunition of Winging It Waterfowl, and Dylan has my package in the mail. It should be here soon, and he is now the official Cable Works, I guess, accessories of Winging It Waterfowl.
accessories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he sent me a few things. I've got the shipping number. I think it's coming in tomorrow or Friday, or tomorrow or Saturday sometime. So I'm excited about that. He's got some brown on brown on purple,
Yeah.
so that he made up for me. Asked me if I
Yeah.
wanted to try some stuff out. So
He
I'm
made
excited for
he
that.
sent me another set of totes too. I texted him and asked him. I was like, "Hey man, I need another
Yeah,
set
what
of
happened?
totes."
What happened to your totes?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Nope. They went
Oh,
missing.
yeah. Must have been them tote bandits running around, running around West Louisiana.
Yeah, they're probably out the shed. I just misplaced them. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, he's got that stuff sent to me. I think next weekend I am going to take out the fours and try those out.
Yeah.
Um, I'm definitely gonna shoot those 3 inch, try those out. Or no, sorry, the 2 3/4 inch.
2 3/4.
Yeah, I'm gonna try those out. It's because I've shot the 3 inch and those did well, so I'm gonna try that 2 3/4 inch. Um, that's what I'm gonna take out next weekend. I'm really hoping I'll have time to get out both days since it is end of season. Sunday, before church may just be a short hunt, but at least
Yeah.
get out there, depending on weather. So, I
Well, he
mean,
said his 2 3/4 is his money
yeah,
load.
yeah,
So
that's why I'm wanting to try it. He said that is his favorite shot combo right there. So
yeah.
I'm gonna give those a shot. And then I'll have hopefully some birds to put on those cables. Get some pictures of those. Test that out. See what he thinks of that,
Yeah.
or see what I think of that. I'm excited. I think that purple's going to be sharp with the brown
Yeah.
biothane.
Man, I'm hoping I get to go next weekend too. I'm gonna go tomorrow, the next 2 days. Just hit different spots up, but they're talking about sending more trucks out on deployment, so I might miss out next weekend. So
It always ends up like that.
it does, but
Yeah. Other than that, end of season coming up. There's not a whole lot going on. We've got the next 2 episodes lined up. After that, got some more stuff in the works, so we are going to keep on trucking along. We will probably have an end of season recap with you, me, and Addison. I'm sure at some point we need to slip that in once season's over.
yeah,
Yeah, we need to get together on that. Go into full detail on how the season was and outlook from the beginning versus outcome from the end.
yeah.
So, other than that,
Already,
is there anything else in the works on your end?
no, not really. We've kind of already talked about our year trip for next year, so hopefully we narrow it down to where we want to go and where we'll go hunt.
Yeah,
There's a lot of different spots.
I think I mean we're a long ways off. We're not even finished with this season yet, and
No,
I mean, we gotta when we take these big trips, we have to plan way ahead. There's a lot that goes into it. And I know a lot of people travel for stuff, but like I said, we freelance. We haven't really done guides. This is new areas for us that we've gone to, that we are going to still, if we do some of the stuff we've talked about. But either way, there no matter what we do or where we go, it's hours away from us that we can't
yeah,
put boots on the ground. So there's a lot of e-scouting that goes into it, a lot of weather prediction that we look at, planning our holidays, and vacation time together. There's a lot that goes into this. So we generally try to start planning about a year, 9 months at least out, figuring out place to stay. Because I mean, we've got dogs, so I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. Whether we fly, whether we drive, you know,
yeah.
logistics wise, there's a large amount that goes into the trips. Because I mean, they're not just 3 day weekend trips that we've been doing. So
We at least try to do 7 to 8 days. I mean,
yeah, oh,
at the minimum, because we got to
hitting a
make it worth
week.
our. Yeah, we got to make it worth our while to go up there.
Yeah, and then we have to figure out. We also put in for draws for stuff. So that kind of goes into that as well. If we're going to do that this year, and that goes into our PTO time and time of year when the draws are. Because I mean, if you put in for draw, depending on where you're at, you may be on into 27 on some of these if we get a draw on them. Because I didn't draw any this year. I put in for I want to say four or five
Yeah,
draws. that I put in this year, and I didn't get drawn for any of them. I mean, I didn't put in for the one we did last year, but
I'm hoping this is my first year not to put in for what we did last year, and I'm hoping I didn't mess the cycle up, and because we were getting drawn every year, so I hope we didn't mess
yeah,
it
you
up
got
by
drawn
not.
3 years in a row. Um,
So
yeah, one of the draws I put in for was at a pronghorn hunt, so I did get some
yeah,
points off that. So I'll probably keep putting in for that, getting my loyalty points put in towards that. Still not exactly sure how that works because I've never put in with it in Texas before this hunt, but yeah, there's a lot goes into it. We're gonna keep trying to roll out the guests, and then we'll do a few episodes coming up without us. Probably take a little bit of a hiatus, after season break kind of deal. Kind of give not break from episodes, but probably have a little bit of a breather for everyone in the industry to kind of take some time. I know a lot of people, guides, people in the call industry, people in clothing, all that stuff. A lot of them, a lot of times, will take spring as kind of their respite time. So we'll probably try to give those guys a little bit of time to breathe before we jump back hard into interviews after we get done what we've already got lined up. So,
yeah.
but we're still playing it by ear a lot of times.
Oh yeah, but we'll have one out every week. I mean, we're not planning on just do a season. It'll be one every
No,
week,
this
and
is
yeah,
going to
that's
be
it.
an all year round, once a week, every week. I mean, unless something happens, we should have one out every week.
Yeah,
So, alrighty. Other than that, I think we'll just dive into the episode. Like I said, I think y'all are going to enjoy this. We cover everything from first hunt to the Women's Waterfowling Association to them getting into the call industry and kind of how they got into hunting and all that. So, I think this is
yeah,
one y'all are going to really enjoy. Make sure you go follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Our YouTube is starting to pick up steam a little bit. Like I said, once season's over, we'll start trying to get some of those hunting videos edited and rolled out. This year's kind of that first year, so bear with us. But go ahead and subscribe. That way you don't miss anything once it does start rolling out. And all the video podcasts are on there. And Spotify is where you can catch them all. Make sure, send us a message, suggest us to some friends, family. Like I said, we're trying to get a widespread base of guests that come on and speak. So there's a little something for everyone here is what we're
yeah.
trying to aim for. So
We'll try to
yeah,
keep it
just
going good, and if y'all have anything at all, just let us know. I mean, we're
yeah,
here for anything.
me and Blake run everything. So you're going to be talking to one of us depending on what you send a message on. It's Winging It Waterfowl on everything. Winging It Waterfowl
Yeah.
podcast. So
Don't forget
um,
y'all's promo codes for Big
yep.
River Ammunition and TFS.
So Big River is Winging It, and you'll get free shipping on $100 or more. And then for TFS cables, you get 20% off with code Winging It 20. All right. Thank y'all for listening. We hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Winging It Waterfowl. I'm your host, Troy Miller. With me, as always, is my co-host, Blake Horton. And then tonight we have special guests, Chris and Alexandra Ezel. Sorry, I knew I was going to butcher that. With Relentless Game Calls. So how are y'all tonight?
We're doing good. How are you?
Doing great. We appreciate y'all coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So y'all run Relentless Game Calls. Kind of tell us a little bit about, to start off with, who you are and where you're from. Kind of give us your little background.
Yeah, so we're from the kind of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin area, so right dead center between Madison and Milwaukee. We started up back in 24. I started development on calls. It's been a passion of mine. I've been a big call collector for years, so I started developing my own tone board, working on that back in 24, and then finally getting a decent call that I was happy with to bring to market. So we started up in 25, so we're just shy, probably about 6 months that we've actually been running calls for sale and working it from that side. So.
Oh, wow. So still fairly new.
Oh yeah.
Had some good response and here in the beginning, good response from everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been. I mean, it's it's calls, so it's up and down. Obviously, when you're starting out, you got to get your name out there. So we've been trying to develop that side of it, build that relationship with customers or even potential customers, a lot of friends, family, just kind of working all of that. So
Yeah.
we've been finally getting to some point. I mean, we've been getting a couple out of state sales that have been trickling in, which has been great and fantastic. Um, but yeah, it's been fun. Sometimes it's keeps you up at night just a little bit trying to figure out how to run a business and keep it running right.
Yes, sir. Now, do y'all are y'all full time doing this, or do y'all have a 9 to 5 as well?
No, we're both full time. So this is after work, I come home, I'm either working on inventory, uh, cutting, tuning up calls, making sure we got the inventory live, or even just trying to keep all of our products, support pieces in stock like reeds and cork, just making sure we got everything here that we can.
Yeah, and I'm a nurse, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. And then when I get off of work or even during work, I'm shooting emails, answering emails, trying to coordinate my other woman events that I do. And then I come home and it's like we're both working on things for the business or things for my nonprofit I work for or the women's academy I do. And we're like nonstop 24/7 doing something with this business or definitely conservation.
Okay, so y'all got quite a bit on your plate. Tell us, whoever wants to go first, just kind of tell us about how you got into hunting. Who got you started, what you started with, and kind of your journey through there and hunting in the outdoors industry.
Yeah, so from my side, I've been hunting since I was 12. My stepdad actually was the one that got me introduced into it. Um, started out with shooting sporting clays, transitioned into waterfowl, deer hunting, turkey hunting. And naturally over the years, I've just kind of migrated to waterfowl hunting as my kind of go-to sport that I want to be in.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me, I was basically the son my dad never had. So growing up, I was born in Natchez, Mississippi. My dad took me out. We went frogging. We do all the catfishing, put out trout lines, and then we moved to Wisconsin in '99. And ever since then, it was going out in the woods. We're gutting deer in the garage. We're doing all that stuff. And then it was when I was 12 in Wisconsin, you had to have your hunter safety license. Now it's changed. You could be any age, but I took hunter safety when I was 12. Me and my dad did. And then ever since then, I've been teaching hunter safety since I was 12 years old. And I really kind of built up a good woman army, I guess you would say. And I'm an instructor still. I've got other women into instructing and hunting, and I work with a nonprofit called First Hunt Foundation, and I get other women into hunting and do a lot of upland hunts, a lot of waterfowl hunts, and I do really enjoy turkey hunting. Turkey hunting is probably the one of the hunts I'm the most competitive for when it comes to me and him. Chris and I don't hunt together a lot because we're so competitive. But definitely, I go on a lot of trips, take a lot of new hunters on trips, specifically women. And yeah, it's not so much a hobby, it's more of a passion of mine. And kind of, I think it's a right and a great right that we have in the United States that we're able to hunt and go and do those things and own firearms. And I'm really passionate about hunting, and I hope that through our business, I can give back too as well and help other new, younger or later onset hunters learn how to hunt waterfowl or whatever they want to do.
Yes, ma'am. So, kind of leading into that, for the first time, was there like a moment or event that made you realize that outdoors industry and kind of this lifestyle is something that you wanted to do more than a hobby? Was there any major event or anything that just clicked for you, or was it just something that slowly kind of burned up to the flame that you got now?
Well, I kind of see there is a huge disparity, I guess you could say, and it's really enlightening to see the light bulb go off for someone who has such a fear to get into hunting or how do I go hunt turkey, how do I go hunt deer, how do I do those things. I love being able to bridge that gap. I love what I would say, people say, oh, be a mentor. Well, I feel like a mentor is being like that built-in hunting buddy for life. want you to be able to call me at any time and say, hey, what should I use to shoot turkey? Should I use steel? Should I use tungsten? What can I do? Or
Mhm.
what should I do? I want to be able to help other people who have that fear and be that person for them and, make them feel more confident to go out and harvest their own food. And, not every hunt, as hunting is, not guaranteed in a kill every time, just to get out there and experience nature, just to learn how to be a great conservationist, because to be a great hunter is to be a great conservationist. And people think that hunters aren't conservationists, but we are the greatest conservationists. So I just
Oh,
want to like give that whole story to people and like make them realize that.
yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you go look at the numbers of the money that goes towards conservation, preservation, all the projects, national parks. I mean, everything that comes out of hunting. It's miles above everything else, every other fundraising or anything like that. So,
100%.
so with First Hunt organization, tell us a little bit about that and how you got involved with that initially.
Yeah, so what First Hunt Foundation is, it's a national nonprofit that is in all 50 states, even in Hawaii. And what we do is we have people who are mentors that are on our map, and they sign up to take people who want to hunt in their state and take them on that first hunt experience. How I got into First Hunt Foundation, and I've also dragged Chris into it too as well, is I actually wanted to do a women's event with our other part of First Hunt Foundation called Share the Heritage. Heritage being HER, being capital letters for her. And I put on an event at Milford Hills here in Johnson's Creek, and it was an upland hunt. And basically, I made it a super duper learn to hunt. The DNR, I work really closely with them here in Wisconsin, and I put on a women's only hunter safety class. And
Mm-hmm.
then I taught them how to become safe, ethical hunters. And then we took them on their very first upland hunt. So bridging that huge gap, especially when it comes to R3. And I might take a hunter safety class, but when am I going to be able to do this? And we cut that out right away and we did it immediately. And they were able to take those skills right away and apply them in a safe, controlled environment with mentors right by their side to ask any questions they need. And every event that I've ever done with First Hunt has been phenomenal. It's been so exciting. It's taken me to a lot of places. I've been in Northern California. I've gone to Michigan. It's a great organization. And the best thing is that it's free. It's free for
Okay.
the ladies that we pick.
So this isn't just a statewide deal that you're dealing with. You deal with it on a national level.
I couldn't hear your question. I'm sorry.
Sorry. It's not just a statewide deal that you're dealing with. You're dealing with it on a national level.
Yes, we do hunts wherever there's a Share the Heritage event. We'll go to, I've planned events in Georgia, I've planned events in Oregon. I work really closely with the national director, Rachel Voss. I'm her secretary. So we've kind of gone everywhere. And we've tried to do hunts in almost all 50 states, but not all of them. But we have done one in Hawaii, which was for upland, and that was really great.
Now, with Hawaii, you're saying upland, is that introduced birds, or do y'all
I
what
believe
kind
the
of
birds in
walks through that?
Hawaii,
Because I'm
yeah,
interested in
they're
that.
they're pheasants that were introduced there, but I might, there are some actual like other species of pheasants that are native to Hawaii as well too.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I had something I was going to ask you, and I don't remember. Sorry, I got off. Now
I'm
with the
probably
first
not
hunt.
doing a great job answering your
No,
questions.
no, no, no. You're doing wonderful. No, it's me. I had written down this stuff in opposite order of what I wanted to ask on some of these things. Um, with the first hunt, how does someone get involved with that if they're new to hunting and don't have like any kind of resource to point them in that direction?
Yeah. So you're going to go to the firsthuntfoundation.org website, and there's going to be on the website page, it's going to say Mentors Map. You're going to find your state on that map, and there's going to be little red spots on that state, and you can highlight over any of those, and the person's information will show up on that red dot, which I think is phenomenal that our foundation has that. And it's a great resource for new hunters who are very timid or very, worried about sending out an email. It's just an email. It's not a text, not a call. It's something that you can do quick email. And most of the time, I will tell you, I have personally connected ladies. I connected a lady from Georgia to another gentleman in Georgia to take her out whitetail hunting, and they did it, and they became really good friends. And since she's moved to Louisiana and she's looking for more ladies to take her out hunting, but it's hard to find people to take you to their spots down south. I
Oh
mean, is
yeah.
it not, guys? Is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very hard.
Especially in Louisiana. It's kind of ruthless down here sometimes.
You got to be a part of a hunt club. You got to have private property,
Yep.
or you got to pay a lot of money to get on those spots.
Now, you were talking about the red dot, so you can like directly get in touch with a person, and it's not like a chapter or anything like that.
No. So
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm trying to create a chapter here. There's a chapter up in Wisconsin in Medford. I'm trying to get a chapter together in another county here in Wisconsin with another great, really eager woman who's phenomenal and done great things for her own like archery team she has with her kids school. It's called NASP, the Archery Scholastics Program. She's really eager, and I just want to be a support for people who want to become hunters, get them the right tools, because I know, and I'm sure you guys can say it too, when you are coming up and hunting, you're like, you have grandpa, uncle, dad, but what if there are other people your age that could help you and be exactly where you are to get you into it? That's where First Hunt comes in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And do y'all do any kind of like fundraising or outreach events, or is it just kind of word of mouth and then the website kind of deal?
Yeah, so the First Hunt Foundation is solely funded on grants and donations. This year, we are going to be having a fundraiser. We're about to start planning that. It's going to be a lot of work. Have a very busy year ahead of us. But I'm really hoping that we can raise some more funds. We can do some awesome First Hunt events and get more women and children and men into hunting. So really excited for that. It's a lot of work. I'm sure you guys know this. It's 24/7 emails, phone calls, and just trying to be at the right place at the right time. 100%.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
So with doing the First Hunt stuff, are you directly involved with quite a bit of it, or have you kind of stepped away into more of an administrative role?
No, I'm 100%.
You are.
I
Okay.
am I'm the agenda queen. Definitely. I'm very involved. I like to be involved. But I absolutely do love it when people want to take leadership roles. I encourage that because I have some really great girls that I've been mentoring, and it's been great because we got to see our friend. I was with her when she shot her first turkey in South Dakota. That was phenomenal. She just shot her first deer. We were there helping her, take it down, take it apart. And I'm trying to get the ladies who I have mentored to take more spots. I'm definitely a hand holder. I'll be there every step of the way. And yes, I'm very involved. I like to be.
Okay. What are, I guess, dealing with, it's different for us because we were raised in hunting families and everything.
Yep.
Waterfowl was kind of our jump in point where we learned it on our own and together. But in general, for first time hunters and people that don't have a background or history, what is kind of their biggest hangups, their fears, their concerns that you've noticed?
So I'll say this on the standpoint, and we've done some boys and some older men too. I will tell you from what I've seen is people are really nervous about being in the water. I feel like people are really worried about staying in the muck, getting in the muck, walking with a firearm. What if I fall? How do I fall? Like teaching them how to safely fall if they were like get on your knee. Hopefully that doesn't happen and you don't put first time hunters in a situation where they can fail like that because you want them to be successful. But I think a lot of it is it's expensive to be a waterfowl hunter, buying the gear,
Yes.
everyone thinks they have to have this hot boat with this awesome motor. You don't. You can buy a kayak off Facebook Marketplace that works just great. And having a firearm that's reliable. You don't have to have the top of the line firearm, but you need to have a reliable shotgun.
And a
And
safe
just
one.
knowing their pattern, knowing how their gun shoots, knowing what ammunition they have. I mean, I will take people out, we'll take people out, let's pattern your shotgun, let's see how this ammo shoots, the ammo that you're going to hunt, let's use that, let's see how this shoots so you can be confident. Talking about lead, his buddy, I can let you talk about Jay, but his buddy is still trying to get his first duck. And his biggest hang up is, where do I aim? So you really kind of have to take them through like the academy, you got to learn by trial and error kind of a thing. And I just think the biggest intimidation is there's a lot of things at once that can go wrong. And I think sometimes people just let that kind of get in their head instead of just enjoy the marsh waking up, enjoy the birds coming over, take a look
Oh,
at
it's
them.
the most amazing thing.
It is. Identify them.
A lot of it, I think, on waterfowl is just it's daunting when you realize or like if you see someone experienced in waterfowl, you see they've got an expensive boat, they've got the shotgun, dozens of
You
decoys,
don't need all that
multiple
right away.
species because you might need different decoys at different times. And that can be a little daunting for a lot of people. They're like, well, I can't go out and just, spend thousands of dollars to get a gun and to get all these decoys. And trying to explain to people, I'm like, yeah, if you really enjoy it, you'll probably end up there like the rest of us do, but you don't have to start there. You need to have a reliable shotgun. You can literally buy 6 decoys on Facebook Marketplace that are, hand-me-downs or whatever, and you're gonna have just as much fun out there as the guy who's got 2 dozen decoys, a $20,000 duck hunting boat. They may make it more convenient down the road for you, but you can have just as much fun. I've done it plenty of times where you just park the truck on the side of the road and walk up a creek, throw out 6 decoys. That's literally how we ended our season this year, is because all the water froze. So, even saying that, having all that gear, like we still go back to basics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big thing too. I mean, it's hard with the social media nowadays, and we've talked about that
Hate
several
it.
times on our
I know I've heard you
podcast.
guys.
Which I mean, I started out with marketplace decoys. I mean, I seen someone selling a dozen mallards for like $80, and I'm like, I'm gonna go buy those. Were they the best? No, they were horrible.
I still have, I don't know, 2 dozen I got from a family friend that got out of waterfall hunting, that all of these were mallard decoys, and by the time I got them, they were just pure black. All the paint had come off. And I literally went to Harbor Freight, bought an airbrush kit, and started spray painting them back together.
Oh wow, dedicated to those.
Yeah. I just
Yeah,
turned the ones I bought, my first ones last season, I just painted them all black.
Yep.
That's
That works.
something different from hunting probably up there compared to down here. Is you'll see a lot of people in Louisiana they'll paint 2-liter Coke bottles black and just throw them out there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen
So
that
with-
online. I haven't done it, but I've seen it.
So with that, talking about, the daunting task of getting prepped and ready for waterfowl hunting, do y'all help facilitate kind of people that aren't real sure about it? Like, hey, do you have like a loan a gun program, or like hook them up with someone that already has all this stuff to get started, or anything along those lines?
So a lot of, at least from my standpoint with the waterfall side, it depends on what they have. Like if they have a shotgun, that's great. You can go ahead and use that if you're comfortable with it. I usually have, just because I've been doing it so long, I have a couple pairs of waders. I've got plenty of decoys. I've got the boat. All I really need you to do is show up, and I have plenty of guns that I can lend one out to you for the day. So it's not that you have to go out, you have to get all this equipment. We get you set up with someone, whether it's with me or with the First Hunt Foundation. We'll figure it out. We can get a hold of loaner gear or loaner guns. So it's not a big issue. We can get you set up.
So what I do on another side adventure is I help coordinate the Women's Waterfowl Academy that's partnered with the Wisconsin Waterfowl Association. And what that is a huge learn to hunt for women in waterfowl. And what the DNR will actually do is they will loan us shotguns for the ladies to use. We take time to shoot them at moving targets. We take time to handle them, load them. And we also provide waders in our academy. We provide them basically, essentially with everything, even with ammunition. We even give them the duck stamp, but they have to take care of the hip survey and everything like that. But we're very blessed and very lucky here that our DNR in Wisconsin is so learn to hunt heavy. so many people want to do learn to hunt, and they give us the resources too as well to use their firearms. Of course, it's very regulated. You have to make sure you keep track of everything, but that's just an awesome feature that our DNR does here. Does the Louisiana or the Texas DNR do anything like that?
I don't
No,
think so.
not
I haven't heard
Wow.
anything.
at least
Wow.
not in my area.
Okay.
I know there's some of the programs. A lot of it is nowhere. The Panhandle's kind of like the little stepchild of Texas when it comes to a lot of this
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, we have like 2 or 3 game wardens up here for the whole area,
Yeah.
and it's very kind of off by itself. So if they
Mhm.
do have programs like that, I'm not aware of them, and especially not for waterfowl hunting in this area either.
Mhm.
But that is really, really great that they have something like that up there.
Yeah.
Is that like a week long, or is that a whole season long?
Oh yeah.
Kind of walk us through that program, because that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's the Women's Waterfowl Academy, and what it is, it's myself and another coordinator, and I have an awesome group of 10 other lady mentors, and we teach a academy that starts in June. We do virtual classes. We go through bird identification, rules and regulations. We go through blind and cover. We talk about a variety of topics, especially hunter safety, which is a requirement for these ladies. They have to have their hunter safety. And then we talk about, you know, um, talking about zones of fire, everything. We go over all of it. And we have a class in June, July, August, September, and October. We meet and we get to hunt at this amazing refuge called the Trempealeau Refuge up in Trempealeau, Wisconsin. And only us women and the disabled veterans get to hunt this marsh. And it's actually happening this year, October 23rd to the 25th. And pretty soon here, me and my counterpart, we're actually going to be getting together and picking the lucky 10 ladies. And the great thing is it's free to them. That's
Oh,
the
that is
that's the best
awesome.
part.
Awesome.
Because another thing is I see all of these organizations, and I'm sure you gentlemen do too, and they charge these new hunters, men or women, $1,800, $2,000. And I just don't think any of that is fair, especially if you're not going to be doing education. But we really put them through a whole academy. Then these
Yeah.
ladies walk into the marsh being brand new hunters and walk out of the marsh being really happy because some of their first birds were a pintail. Like, how incredible. How incredible is that?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So y'all do kind of limit it to 10, just to make sure you're staying within your resources, I'm assuming, kind of deal.
Yeah. So what's hard is it's hard to get people to dedicate a lot of time, especially for free, because we don't get paid to do this. We do it all for free. And we want to bump it up to 12. It's something we have to talk about. But if we could do 12, we would, just because our wait list right now is pushing 50 women.
Okay.
Yeah. So we would love to. And I think we might be doing other events, but they won't be at the scale as the big event in Trempealeau is.
Okay. Now, I know with my experience with being that I did never waterfowl hunt growing up, it was all deer with hunter safety courses. I've taken a couple of them, took one when we lived in Oklahoma, and then I took them through FFA and shooting sports and 4-H
Mhm.
in Texas. And there was never anything to talk about like waterfowl. It was either upland or deer hunting,
The deer.
making
Mhm.
sure you know where that bullet's going to end up at with a rifle. Now, that may just be the area that I grew up in, but up there, is that kind of the same focus that hunter safety takes up there, or is there quite a bit more emphasis on waterfowl and other forms of hunting up there?
So our hunter safety program is shaped to talk about waterfowl hunting. It especially talks about zones of fire and knowing how far, at least the very basics of your pattern and where it's going to go. Talks about upland. Definitely go through rules and regulations, the federal regulations, stuff like that. But it is still pretty much a broad topic on whitetail, upland. I will say it definitely over the years of teaching it, depending on the instructor too as well, it's kind of instructor dependent how much we go into rules and regulation on waterfowl. My instructor is phenomenal. The lead instructor, we co-lead together. We do touch on waterfowl a pretty good amount in our class, I will say. So I think it's getting there. I think it's becoming more and more popular because waterfowl is becoming more and more popular because you can talk when you waterfowl hunt. You're not usually shivering for 8 hours plus. Well, maybe depending on if, how well you dress. And I would go waterfowl hunting over. I shouldn't say this. It depends. But the best waterfowl hunting up here is when the rut is really going on in Wisconsin. I want to be waterfowl hunting.
Yeah. So, is there any like first hunt stories or experiences from the foundation or people that you've connected through there that really stick out to you or have kind of stuck with you through your time in there?
Yeah, there is one actually. So this is a crazy one. You know which one I'm probably gonna talk about, the one from New Zealand. Yeah. So she's a dear friend of mine now. Her name is Christine Tillman. She was one of the ladies that was selected for the Johnson Creek upland hunt, and her husband was so ecstatic and so happy that she was doing this. She was, first of all, so ecstatic and so happy she was doing it. And there's two things. The first thing she did when she got home from the weekend, she goes, Alex, I went through all of my firearms and I demonstrated to my husband how I can make them all safe, all their actions, everything. I can identify everything. And she goes, that's such a good feeling that I know how to handle these firearms and make them safe. The biggest one though is she was going to New Zealand and she had the opportunity to shoot a fallow deer. And she called me and she had 10 seconds. She goes, Alex, I just need you to give me some encouragement. I said, Christine, you know what you're doing. You can do this. You know you don't need me. I'm telling you right now, you put it right on the vitals and you pull the trigger. You make sure it stops though, and you pull the trigger. I get a call with a picture and I did it. Oh, beautiful. She's like, I can't believe it. Her husband's like, I was right here the whole time. But it's just like connections like that are like, wow, like I feel like she didn't need me, but it made me feel good that she wanted to talk to me and get my opinion on it. And then especially with my friend Madison, who I was right there with her when she shot her turkey. And I will tell you, that girl, I put her through the ringer. I was a turkey dog, okay? I was running and gunning. Jason, who was helping us out, he was like, you ladies have really went through it this morning, but I was right there with her. She had a moment where she was doubting herself, and I was able to be right there and say, hey, you don't need me to be here. You can do this. I'm telling you right now. And I got to watch her, and she's like, are you ready? I was like, hang on. Are you ready? I was like, hang on. I go, when I say one, pull the trigger. I got 3, 2, boom. She had shot it and she dropped that bird and it didn't even flop.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So just some really amazing experiences and just seeing the women come back from the hunt and they're just smiling. They're like, this is incredible. And it's just empowerment. It's a lot of empowerment and confidence that you put into people when they realize I can actually do this safely, ethically, and I know that the food is coming from an ethical place and source, and I put it on my table for my family. So I
Now,
think
do
that's
y'all teach
huge.
like processing and cleaning game and all that stuff kind of from
Yep.
start to finish as
Yeah.
well?
So Chris and I do a women's annual with another group I'm a part of called Wisconsin Shooting Sporting Association, Women's Hunting Sport Association, and I do a women's deer processing workshop every year. And that is one that people are like, wow, I didn't realize it's kind of like this. I'm like, it is intimidating to gut a deer, 100%, but you can do it. You just have to break it down. And I think kind of that exposure therapy of showing a first time hunter that like you're gonna gut this deer or after what the deer looks like after you gut it, I think it breaks down that intimidation factor that okay, like so many people want to deer hunt, right? But they're like, what do I do after I shoot it? Oh, I gotta gut it.
Yeah.
So then you walk them through it. I think that is definitely a big thing.
Yeah, we've between two of us, we've got 4 daughters. My oldest daughter, she's hunting. Hasn't got
Yeah.
one yet, but like last year was her first year hunting. And I was like she missed one. She hit a wire. We were and missed it. And then I got one later that day. And I was like, okay, this is always my big worries is when we get to these parts. I was like, I know you've seen like the deer hanging and stuff like that when we're
Yeah.
processing. I was like, but you're going to sit here and watch as we field dress this deer. And I was like, okay, if you get squeamish or anything, let me know. And she took it like a champ. She's like, well, what's this and what's that? Why are you doing this? How are you doing that? And so that was really great. Do y'all have any problems with people kind of like getting into it, getting through the process, and getting cold feet right at the moment of harvest?
Oh yeah. Oh, it happens. It definitely does. And when that moment does happen, I know, Chris, like maybe we have difference, but like when it happens, I don't put any pressure on them. And I kind of warn them preemptively and I said, "Hey, you might have like a second where you're like, I'm not going to do this. I don't feel comfortable." And I say, I don't want you to feel pressure at all. I want you to take it when you're ready to take it. And also, I want you to take an ethical, lethal shot at an animal. I don't want you to make it suffer. So if you feel like you can't do it, don't do it. No pressure. But then I always say, we live to hunt another day. I annoy my friends so much when I say that because some of my friends are really like hardcore. Like, yeah, I'm like, no, we live to hunt another day. It's not killing, it's hunting. If that person's not comfortable, that person's not comfortable. You can't
Yeah,
rush it.
that's
You can't
great.
force it.
Yeah, I know that's what I've been very big with my wife and my daughter because my wife comes from they didn't have hunting or anything like that. My wife's family, and so I was like, she got her first deer last year. I was like, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. I'm never going to force you. I mean,
Hmm.
you're in this willingly, but I told my daughters, is like, you do need to have the respect for that you are taking a life and realize that as we do it. So that's
Absolutely.
it's great to hear. Do y'all
Yeah.
have y'all had any bad experiences where it just went awful, or have y'all had pretty good luck with the program?
I will say there's always one person, but nobody knows about it because I try to nip it in the bud right away. But no, nothing safety wise. Some people just don't have the right mindset, and you just have to correct that, and you have to tell them that's not
Yeah.
what this is about. So, yeah. But besides that, everyone has been really great. Met some really awesome people. He's heard a lot of my stories.
Oh yeah, over and over.
It's just so exciting. It is something that fills my cup so much more than being a nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, with the kind of the mentors that y'all have that help people, how do y'all recruit? Is that like people that were previously through the programs or anything like that? How do y'all get people involved to do the helping and introduction part of it to
Yeah.
new hunters?
So kind of in all of the realms for first hunt especially, they have to have experience. They can't be, if they're going to be a full-on mentor, I'm going to take you hunting, and they have to have experience. They go through background checks at First Hunt Foundation, 100%, and they also go through background checks too with the Women's Waterfowl Academy because it's ran through the DNR.
Mhm.
But a lot of it too, when we do other stuff with like Pass On Outdoors or with the DNR, they're pretty much already friends that we already kind of vetted them and we're all kind of friends and we all know each other. But usually the safest thing is, or the biggest thing is, they already go through a background check to make sure they can be there and around kids. So that's the
Okay.
biggest thing. The liability wise, like you cannot have certain things on your record if you're going to be around and mentoring children. So
Yes.
that is like an actual like professional
And
fact checking.
there are a few ladies that have gone through the program and have turned around and become mentors too.
Okay.
Yep.
That was going to be my next question. If y'all kind of had
Yeah.
anyone that, graduates, alumni kind of thing that helped with it as
Yes.
well. That's
Hmm.
a true testament to it when you
I
get
kind of make them. They
get
want to
people.
be, but I go, come here, let's go.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Was there
So
anything else you kind of wanted to hit on for before we transition out of that of any of the organizations that you help with First Hunt or any the women's waterfowl or anything like that?
I just encourage any woman, any young adult. It's never too late to want to be a hunter or be in conservation, regardless. If it's just shooting firearms or hunting, you're never too old.
That's great.
yeah, that's a good outlook on it too. Just some people will get to that age where they're like, I don't know if I'm young enough to do this. I don't know if I want to. And you have those people there that help them out, like tell them,
Hmm.
I mean,
yeah,
there's a few people that we know that like they don't want to hunt. They just want to go shoot sporting clays or trap. And we're,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
well,
Yeah.
by
there's
all
nothing
means,
wrong with that.
you know, we all do those sports too. And yeah, if we're going out, feel free to come with us.
Yeah.
My uncle is not a hunting fan whatsoever, but he is one of the best shotgun shots I've ever
Yeah.
seen. He is,
Yeah.
I mean, just dead on every time. We haven't done it in a while, but we used to every holiday when the family would get together, we'd go out and shoot clays behind the house. We had a thrower out there, and I mean, he is just dead accurate, but he has no ambition to hunt, which is nothing wrong with that. But so, and he still has a
Mhm.
blast with it. So,
Mhm.
So Chris, I'm gonna switch us now. We're gonna go to the
Sure.
game call, the duck calls, because I'm very interested in that. Kind of lead us into what kind of calls you make: single read, double read, like the J frames or the cut downs.
Yeah, so everything right now is J-frame. I do offer the calls 5 different colors, but I can tune them as a single read or a double read. We also have a goose call, specifically Canada. I don't have any snows or anything up here that we would focus on that yet. Eventually, when I get more time to it, we would probably trickle into that area. Um, I am starting to work on a cut down design, but I kind of one of those people, like I refuse to sell a product until I've put it in the field myself. You know, if there is a problem with it, I'd rather I'm the one to find the problem rather than a group of guys that have been nice enough to support me as a small business. I don't, I, it's kind of one of those things like I hate hearing from a customer and they go, the call sounds awesome, but I've got this one problem. And I'm like, all right, let's just get it back here. We're gonna make it right. Like I don't want you guys in a bad spot. I don't want to be myself in a bad spot either. Um, you know, but that's kind of why we started this is I strictly want to build a call that's realistic. It's going to bring birds in and it's going to work for you without a doubt.
Is that kind of why you stuck with the J frame over the cut down, or is it just how you started? Is that what you prefer, as
So
a J frame over cut down, or?
personally, I prefer the J frame over a cut down. It's a lot easier, especially for newer callers. Um, you know, cut downs take a lot more air typically, but they can be more raspy. There's nothing saying you can't make that same tone out of a J frame that has the back pressure. It's just a little more difficult to get there. So I feel like what we have right now does give you most of that rasp. Uh, you know, a lot of people call it a little bit of a Cajun squeal that our calls will have. One of my most favorite things to have in a call. That's why I designed it that way. Um, but like I said, I'm a big call collector. I've got calls, you know,
From
since I was a
everywhere.
kid. I probably have multiple from, you know, multiple manufacturers here. Uh, I will say one of the calls is probably my favorite. Was actually built by I think it's Don Cahill.
Okay.
If you guys know that name,
Yep.
he was out of Arkansas. I think one of the nephews actually just took that company over like a year ago, 2 years
You talking
ago.
about Dixie Mountain?
Yeah.
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 He's actually I think now in Texas.
Yep. He's in Texas.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Did not
So
know
he's
that.
doing all. I'm fairly certain he's still hand turned wood calls. Uh, Super low pitch, really raspy. They're great sounding calls. I love them. I've got 2 of them here.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was looking on the website. You don't have any wood calls at this point? Are you planning on doing it at some point, or just sticking
I
with what you
probably
got?
will eventually bring some wood calls in. Um, Main reason I like the acrylic is your waterfowl hunting. So the care
Yeah.
for a acrylic call is a lot less. It's well reduced compared to a wood call. You know, it's wood. It's going to swell. It's going to take up moisture. Eventually, the finish is going to go bad on it. It's just inevitable with anything. So you're going to have to make sure you're taking care of it, keeping it clean, keep it dry. Make sure your finish isn't chipping or peeling to where you're going to expose the base wood. So eventually we might transition there to get customers more options. That way they can kind of pick out what they want. but the acrylic has been great. I love the way, there's a lot of acrylic out there for calls, and there's kind of a reason for it, right?
Yeah.
It's a good material for what you're trying to do. It's loud, it sounds good, and it's waterproof. It can take a beating, and it's not temperature sensitive. So it's not going to swell and get stuck. If it gets cold out, it's not going to freeze up. Shouldn't say freeze up because the reeds will eventually, if it's cold enough out, you'll build ice on them. There's just nothing you can get around with that. Uh, but they don't, you won't get to the point where the call either falls apart or it now swelled so bad you can't even get it apart if you try. So that's where I really like the acrylic material for that. And there's a lot of color options for everyone out there. Seems to be really big, bright, flashy colors are super popular.
Which is so
There's a
odd.
few colors, like our purple. I had a couple people ask me for it on a whim when I was getting started, and I said, sure, I'll build them. I'll throw them on the website. We'll see how they do. Pretty sure it's my number one selling color. And orange is right behind it as like a number two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's always thrown me is the
Yeah.
really bright colors. I'm like, I mean, it's cool. It looks really cool, but just I'm like, I don't know that I want to have all
I mean,
that color
I
out
don't
there.
I'd carry
personally.
our OD green color. That's what I built my call up.
That's what I have. Mine are OD
You know,
green.
it's at least a more neutral camo kind of color. Uh, but that's just how I am with the call. And now, granted, I make them so I can switch out my color, as I see fit if I want to. But I just always been more of the neutral camo colors is like the go-to idea. But yeah, flashy, bright colors grab your attention. And then I get it. Calls can be kind of a piece of artwork to a lot of people. And like I said, I have so many here. I actually had to build a display box to go up on my wall next to all my waterfall mounts.
Yeah. So, starting out for like some of the listeners that might just be starting a duck hunt, what do you recommend? Do you recommend a double read, or you think they should just start straight into the single read? Because I mean, when I started with a double read. I was not
Yep.
very good, and then I finally decided to switch to single read and felt like I could control the tone better.
Yeah, so double, I always kind of recommend people usually starting with a double can be easier. It tends to be a little more forgiving on airflow, right? So if you don't have a lot of control of that airflow and understanding how that call is going to react with that different air pressure, the double reads can be a little more forgiving for that. Single reads are going to be more raspy. You need to have a little bit of air control behind them. I mean, it's not like it's a giant step between the two. But that's always my recommendation to, especially someone new that doesn't know how to call. Start with a double read. You're going to learn the call, and then eventually you're going to want to transition to a single. And like I said, there's callers out there that absolutely love cut downs. It's all they hunt with, and that have kind of made that step off the single read up to a cut down. They just take a lot more airflow. You got to have good control, good burst of air to make those run properly. Um, but yeah, it's double read is definitely the way to start.
Yeah.
From my opinion of it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what me and Troy started off with was doubles, and I think it was probably just a year or two ago, Troy decided to switch to the single reads.
Yeah, this was my first season with a single read. Man, I keep that dull read on. I kept that dull read on there, and I used it once. Twice. Like, yeah, I didn't know, but I also made the switch from wood to acrylic. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and I did not think that
The
I would
big
be a
step
fan of
there.
that. I'm a very much a traditionalist and like heritage and like old school
Mhm.
kind of stuff. And I was like, I like the idea. I like the look of the acrylic, but it quality wise, because I don't know what I do different or wrong, but I'm always getting my calls wet and everything else. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's where that double read, you're always going to get a little bit higher of a pitch. You're going to lose a little bit of that raspy tone behind the call, which you'll gain back when you basically go to the single read version of it.
yeah, volume control's been my biggest benefit. It seems
Yep.
like.
Yeah, there's advantages to single read, absolutely. Like I said, just someone that doesn't have the finesse that kind of comes with experience of using a call. I usually tend to recommend them to a double read. just for that reason.
Now, do y'all put on any kind of like workshops for helping people kind of get started into calling, like calling basics, stuff like that? Do y'all have anything to do with that through any of the organizations, or even just Relentless?
We haven't yet.
Well, he doesn't know that we are though, because I planned it today. Sorry,
that's usually how it goes.
surprise.
Last year we did do an event with a couple other foundations. You know, I brought the boat out there, brought a lot of my gear
Mhm.
along with a lot of other guys. Kind of show people like what a progression of your gear is, how to set decoys, why you would set certain ways. And we did a little bit of introduction to duck calls. And then they all did go shoot trap over
Yep.
there too.
And then there was my buddy Spencer. He is an OST and outdoor skills trainer here in Wisconsin. He does a calling clinic too as well. And then in our women's zone, we're going to have a duck calling seminar. So we'll be teaching them how to do that too as well in August. So
That's awesome.
yep.
So, going towards your goose call now, is that a single read or do you offer it in the double?
Not in the goose call, it's just a single read.
Mhm.
It's just a single. We don't really do much goose
We're
calling.
awful.
I've done it once and I'm a 1-for-1. I'm 100% right now, so I just want to leave it
All
at
right.
that.
Yeah, I mean, so with the goose calls specifically, I use another company's insert. I'm 100% straight up with people on that. You know, my opinion over the years, it's probably one of the best inserts out there. Uh, and there's two that I absolutely love, and I'm running one of them in the call. But I specifically designed that call from the ground up around that goose insert. So
Okay.
it can be loud, it'll flip over quick. It's still easy enough that you
Mhm.
can get a beginner on it. You know, like I've been teaching Alex on goose calls. She's playing in the house now all the time with them.
I'm way better at I started goose call. I probably started picking up a goose and a duck call probably a year and a half ago, but I'm really good on a turkey call. Like you give me a diaphragm, I'm great. I'm wonderful. Okay. But I will say it is easier for me to do a goose call and go through all of that and then, try not to sound like a kazoo, especially, trying to start picking up duck calls. And then if you flip flop, then it's like, oh, I shouldn't even touch the duck call, but the goose call, I love our goose call. I think it's really easy, especially for a female to use, especially not having to use any back pressure.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that's always my issue that I've had. So, I
Mhm.
mean, which I've not got a lot of experience on a goose call. I have one on my lanyard and I toy around with it. I can make a honk and that's about it. But we were
Yeah.
messing around with it in Nebraska a little bit with our buddy that's miles better than us.
Yeah. It's
I
one
was
of
like,
those
that
things
this
where
is
if you
just
don't know the workings of your goose call, it's hard, right? Because they tend to usually or typically they take more air to run than a duck call. So someone who maybe hasn't had a lot of exposure experience or been able to tweak their call to what makes it a little bit better for themselves, uh, you typically run out of air.
yeah.
So that's why I've kind of designed ours the way we do. Obviously, like I probably have one insert that's more advanced that I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite inserts to run. Uh, so I probably will bring that out as an option to run that insert with our goose call, but I need to do a little bit more field testing on it before I really want to offer that. Just because it's a little more advanced, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to put it in a bad spot for people either. I'm really, really driven on that field proven equipment side of things where I've got to be in the field, or I got to put someone in the field that I really trust to run the call and give me an honest feedback on it.
That makes sense. If somebody does have a problem with it, like, what's your turnaround time if they need to send you the call back just to have you retune it, or maybe
Yeah,
they
so
lost the insert or something that they need you to redo it?
Yeah, so as far as like if they've got a problem, the call's not working properly, or they say that they lost the cork in the reed while they were messing with it, I can typically turn that around whatever day it gets to me. I can turn it around that night and have it back in postal the next day.
Okay.
I try to keep like an emergency backup supply of every color that we have here. So if something were to ever happen with someone's tone board, if it broke, they lost it, whatever, uh, I usually try to keep a couple here in reserve just for that scenario. That if something like that were to happen, I could retune it here and get them a replacement out the door.
That's awesome.
So
That's
that's what
awesome.
we're
I
doing.
know that there's a lot of different people that it might take them a little bit longer.
Yeah,
I've
and
called
then
some people and they're like, "Oh, it'll be like 2 weeks before I get it back." I'm like, "Well, I'm in the middle of duck season. I need a
yeah,
call back."
No.
that's why I always try to keep the extras here on hand. You know, we do our machining out of house right now, just because of the startup cost of having a
SCNC.
CNC. It's more than I've even put into the company to start up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's on our list. It's something we're gonna try to add this year so that I can literally just stock material. That way, if something were to happen, instead of having to have, X amount of pieces on the shelf here just for a worst case scenario, at least I've got material here. I can make replacement parts, get them tuned up, shipped out, within 24 hours, hopefully. Um, or, worst cases, I can get out maybe a different color tone board to you as a replacement until I can get the right color. But at least I'll have options then with the CNC here on site. So we are planning that for this year to try to put that investment into the company and get that here.
What's the what what's your I guess how to word it? Sorry. Um, with your calls that you do have, what is the longevity of your reads and everything that you've been using? Have you seen them breaking down yet, or had any that have come back because they're starting to deteriorate and need to be replaced?
I haven't had anything come back. Like I said, we've only been running about a season with sales, so at least for the Wisconsin season. I've only had one come back for a very minor issue. I found out it somehow I had a mixed bag of reed thickness, uh, and it was the matter of 1/1000th difference in the thickness of that reed that sounded great going out the door. The guy got it from me, said it was sounding awesome. Got into the field, and it was late season here, and somehow I have no clue how it started hanging up. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not sure it's starting to hang up when we were out goose hunting, but we had mallards flying around, so we thought we'd just mess around with them a little bit." He's like, "Sounds phenomenal. It's the most realistic call I've ever had, but it was hanging up." So I literally had that back here the next night, just because he is local. Was able to find the problem, get him tuned up, and he had it back within 24 hours. He had it back.
Oh, that's
That's
great.
awesome.
So,
hmm
but yeah, I mean, as far as longevity, most calls, yeah, there's a point at which the cork is going to dry out. You're going to have to replace that. We do use like a rubber impregnated cork here. So that does help keep it from drying out and shrinking up and losing the hold on the reed. But it is inevitable that reed and that cork is eventually going to kind of wear out and loosen up over time. Um, Typically for me, if it's a call, it's like my main go-to call on my lanyard. I'll probably replace it, every 2 years.
Okay.
Uh, I'm not full-time out in the field. Obviously, we still have full-time jobs, but I'm out every weekend I can, and I'm usually a couple trips out. Mississippi River, we'll be out there again this year. And I think we're down in Arkansas here
Next month we're going to
next month for
Arkansas
a
for
snow this summer.
Snowzoos.
So uh,
That'd be fun.
I
Yeah.
usually get about 2 years before, on my side, just because, I am playing with calls so much that I can tell when they're starting to loosen up. I've got guys I hunt with that probably don't know any better and haven't been able to tell if the reeds are starting to wear out and they need to be replaced. I'm sure when the day comes and we put a new reed in their calls, they'll probably be like, "Wow, it sounds amazing again," and they never realize how they wear out. So,
hmm
and not that it makes a call bad. It's just, when you get so your ear gets tuned to it so well, like even someone else using the call, I can be like, "Yeah, it probably needs a new reed eventually here."
Yeah. Yeah, lifespan. That was what I was trying to get at. I
Yeah.
just it slipped me. I was like, well, do you suggest people tune them up every year or send them back to you, or do you think generally just kind of play it by ear and how you
I always
your
leave it up.
calling style and frequency.
Yeah, I mean, if you're only going out a couple times a year, you don't need to retune it every year or replace parts every year.
Okay.
If you're kind of getting into that diehard side of waterfall, where you're going to put a lot of hours out there and you're going to be hammering on that call a lot, you may have to replace it more often. Uh, but I always tell people it's not a matter of if, it's always a matter of when, and that all just depends on how much you're using the call.
That's
Um,
fair.
How good
Yeah.
you
and
take care of it.
as far as if they want to send it back to me, I have no problems. You want to ship the call to me, I will put a new read, new insert in it. I will get it completely tuned back up and shipped back out the door. And those parts are literally pennies, so it's not really that hard for me to do it and send it back out the door free.
That's great.
Awesome.
So, you were talking about how y'all are looking to try to get in-house with turning everything.
Yep.
Do y'all have anything else in the works or the pipeline that y'all can kind of talk about for future-wise for the company?
Yeah, so the big one right now is I'm working on a cut down call. I want to get that out. We are discussing adding some additional colors, um, just to see, what people want for different colors. So that is coming down the pipeline. Like I said, we have also potentially bring out like a second version of our goose call with a different insert. Uh, if you're familiar with them or not, they call them like a broken gut system. So a little more rounded edges, not sharp. It's gonna, what I always call it, the easiest way to explain to someone is when you're using a call, it's a little more mushy, where it doesn't have that clean spot where you're going to clearly tell there's a break point at which it wants to kind of break over into a higher note. So you got to be a little more proactive with your airflow for that.
Okay.
Uh, so that's one we'll
And
probably bring out in the next year or two. But colors will be the biggest thing, the first thing coming down the pipeline. Getting additional colors out for existing stuff, and then once I get the field testing done, we'll bring out probably a cut down variant and another goose call.
that's good to hear. Any ambitions of getting into the turkey call industry?
I do have pot calls right now. I usually try to keep those like they're for sale on the website right now. They
Oh,
are
are they? I
live.
guess I didn't even see them on
Yep.
there.
Hmm.
So I use 3 different types of wood for those. I got a paddock,
Cheetah.
canary wood, and a leopard wood out there. Um, they're really nice. I mean, they're kind of exotic woods, so they're a little more expensive for me to get a hold of material. But they don't cost me much to make as far as my attention span. I have a little CNC router here already for that. So I can literally get the wood locked in and hit start, walk away from it until it's done cutting, come back and do all my final tuning on that call. So we do have them. They're not supposed to be super thrills, fancy calls. I think they're on the website for like $80, which comes with 2 strikers in purple wood and a
Rose.
diamond wood,
Mhm.
like a camel colored diamond wood. So um, those are live now. I actually went out last year. I think I was in the field for 2 hours by myself and was done.
That's
That
awesome.
was a story.
So where all are y'all selling product at? Or is it just your website, or kind of let everyone know where they can find
Y-
all your stuff
Yeah,
at?
so all of the products are live on our website, relentlessgamecalls.com. We do have a Facebook page as well as Instagram where you can reach out to us, get a hold of us if you got questions, if you don't want to email us through the website. But yeah, social media as well. We've got Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I guess we just hit an hour. Was there anything else y'all wanted to kind of talk about or plug or anything like that?
We love TFS Cable Works. Dylan's phenomenal.
He is. He's a
We
great guy.
He's a really great guy, and it's a really small world how I actually met Dylan and how we kind of all became friends. But yeah, we love his product. I mean, I think I have the gunsling hanging on the deer antler over there. But his product is awesome, and we're really happy to sponsor him on our website too as well. So
Oh, awesome.
his gear is
Awesome.
awesome. All
Yeah, I was
handmade
Yeah.
USA.
I was just texting him before we got on the
I was
podcast,
too.
actually.
Oh
He hit
yeah.
me up
So
and we
were
were
we.
talking. So it is a
Yeah.
small world. That's one thing we've talked about, and it's the industry so far, the little that we've been in it and everything is just it's a very, very great set of people that we've been able to get in contact with and network with. It's just very blessed on that aspect.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And he's done nothing but rave about y'all. He was telling us we need to get y'all on.
Yes.
So I'm so glad we were able to make that happen. So
Yeah,
Yes.
me too. Yeah, if there's
well,
anything else that I can, if I can just say real quick, is you guys being dads to girls, you're gonna have such a phenomenal bond with your daughters because my dad, I look at him as my greatest mentor, and I am so grateful that he made me do the things that I didn't know I didn't think I could do. I'm really good at holding a flashlight. Okay, I was mentored by some mean old men, but my dad was so graceful and so patient with me, and he knew when I needed to be sharpened in the fire. So you guys are gonna have some amazing, phenomenal sportswomen for sure, for a fact.
oh yeah, we talk
So,
about it constantly. We're so looking
yeah,
forward to that.
I think that's awesome.
Well, I appreciate that.
Mhm.
But yeah, kind of just run through, tell everyone where they can find anything you want them to find you on, share with the first hunt, all that, whatever you want to kind of plug real quick, let everyone know where to find you.
Yeah, so for me, I'm Alexandra Lauren on Facebook. For the First Hunt Foundation, it's firsthuntfoundation.org. And then I also have another website for myself, which is empowereducatehunt.com. And that's my personal website. And then some other organizations, WWA.org for Wisconsin Waterfowl Association. And then, of course, relentlessgamecalls.com for our awesome duck, our duck, goose, and turkey pot calls.
Well, I thank y'all so much for coming on tonight. It has been a true pleasure to get to talk with y'all, and I'm sure we will have to do it again at some point.
Yeah,
Definitely.
likewise.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you
having
so
us
much
on.
for having us on.
Yes. Well, thank you everyone for listening to another episode. We will catch y'all next week.